Good evening, everybody. Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, been a while then, hasn't it, mate?
It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a month or so. Yeah, so plenty has changed in the intervening 30 or so days since we last did one of these. But welcome back to episode 17 of the League 2 Hour. As myself and my good friend Lee will be looking back on 12 games that include 32 goals and no less than 3 red cards. Plenty to talk about, mate. And I'm sure there'll be some new signings that come up in conversation as well, because the transfer window has been open for a couple of weeks.
It has, mate. Yeah, and I feel like we've not done this. Been quite a few weeks, but it feels like a long, long time, and a lot's happened, a lot of results. So yeah, a lot to take in and talk about. But yeah, buzzing to be back because we absolutely love doing this show, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah. It's obviously Christmas and the new year takes over with family time, and the games are so quick and that you just end up with not enough time to fit everything in. Yeah, but looking forward to this one. 20 of you already watching, so thank you very much. Don't forget to press like. Don't forget to subscribe to both channels if you've not done so already, please. And yeah, Lee's found a new hype button on YouTube. We don't know really what it means, but it apparently helps the channel. So if you see it, give it a press. That'd be great. Right, should we do some comments, mate?
Yes, mate.
Right, what we got? One for you. You love an intriguing and out there username. We've got Ladybug TV Roller Coasters Videos. Says 99th minute winner. Yes, assuming was a Gills fan. DFT Lewis says, good evening, everyone. Feels good to be back with a Gills win. Yeah, it's we haven't missed many wins, unfortunately, from my point of view, have we, mate? In terms of the last 4 or 5 weeks, Gills hadn't won a game since the middle of November, up until Saturday's last gasp victory, which we will get to. The view from the Medway are in the chat. They said, evening, gentlemen. Congratulations to everybody associated with them on their award last night. They were named League 2 Podcast of the Year by The Deck. Who else we got? We've got Joshua, Gills fan. Hi, it was a good win. Hi, Joshua. Good to see you in the chat. Liam Welby is back. He says, hi, Matt and Lee. What a win for the Gills. Yep, any which way. We had to find a way, and we did. You can't beat a last-minute winner. We've got Dom, the Oldham fan, back. Hello, mate. Evening, chaps. I'm here, but doing overtime, so we'll get involved as much as I can. Priorities, mate. Priorities.
He did warn me early, to be fair to him.
TC Troy boy says, evening, Matt and Lee. Evening, Troy. Sid is in the chat, friend of the show now. Sid, big Bradford fan, good lad as well. Evening, lads. Just thought I'd pop into League 2 and see how our ex-players are doing. Yeah, they're doing all right, mate. They are doing okay. And Nick Castleton, another friend of the show, big Gills fan, says, evening, lads. Good to have you back. Been looking forward to this all day. That's what we want to hear. 27 now watching. Thank you very much. Finley is in the house. Evening, Finley. Hope you're doing well, mate. He says hello to Lee. And Simon Broad says, evening, guys. Hard-fought win for Oldham at the weekend, but I will take that. 6 matches unbeaten, 7 off the playoffs now. If only we could have converted some of them 11 draws into wins. I know how you feel, mate. Too many draws has us both in mid-table. We've got Fielder Jill says, good evening, love the win. Matt GFC says, hello, Gills fans and the 2 Newport County gents I shook hands with after the match. And William Rhodes says, hi, lads, hope you're well. Buzzing that League 2 Hour is back. YCFC for life. I'm assuming he's a York City fan, Lee, and you cover his club quite well.
Ah, yeah, no, William. Well, yeah, good lad.
Good stuff. Right to hear it. Right. Shall we get stuck in?
Do you want to tackle the Gills first?
Yes, has to be one of the feature games. Number 1, I was there. Number 1, we've not won for what feels like forever. And number 2, it was a crazy game of football with 5 goals, a 15-minute delay, a 4th official plucked out of the crowd, and penalty and no end of talking points. Yeah, Gills had to come from behind twice. Didn't start the game at all well. In fact, we were absolutely rubbish for the first 15 minutes. We were 1-0 down inside 5. Glenn Morris makes a good save. We don't pick up second balls, and Michael Spellman had a free header into the far corner. And we could have been 2-0 down shortly after. We just weren't picking up our men. We weren't tracking runners. Newport, in fairness to them, didn't look like a side that were bottom of the league. And I think that goes back to the point that we've made all season. Anybody can beat anybody on their day. Luckily, from our point of view, they started to sort of sort themselves out. Johnny Smith and Aaron Rowe were a threat, started to get good balls into dangerous areas. And then on the half-hour mark, Max Clark's delivery was met by the onrushing Connor Masterson back in the side in the last few weeks, and he thumped home a header for 1-1. And it was that way as we went in at half-time. And then Gills being Gills, second half, created loads of good chances, missed loads of good chances. Josh Andrews, bless him, missed probably 2 of the easiest chances you're going to see in the division all season. And then with 10 minutes to go, Newport took the lead against the run of play. Cameron Antwi, he who missed a penalty at Rodney Parade earlier in the season, decided to run and celebrate in front of our fans. Luckily, that came back to bite him on the arse, because in that 15 minutes of injury time, Gareth McCleary came off the bench to win a penalty, which was converted by Armani Little. And then in the 99th minute of what ended up being 115, McCleary himself nodded in off the underside of the bar to give us our first 3 points in nearly 2 months. And hopefully get our season back on track. Where do you sit with Gills at the moment, mate? Obviously, you watch it as a neutral. You talk to me quite a lot. But 7 points to the playoffs again, similar to what the Oldham fans said, too many draws. If you can just turn a few of them draws into wins in the second half of the campaign, we're not going to be far away.
Yeah, and we spoke probably every week. It was just about you getting that win. And I think you've got that monkey off your back now. And it's now, obviously, is it Harrogate away, did you say, this coming weekend?
Yeah, Harrogate on Saturday, yeah, and then Cheltenham the following Tuesday on the road before Bromley come to our place at the end of the month, which would obviously be a huge test.
So what I mean, so you win them two, and you're right back in the picture again. Like I say, it's just about getting that win. It's been a frustrating run. Obviously, you look at last season, what happened. And I looked at the result. Obviously, Saturday I could keep an eye on, because obviously you're a good pal of mine, so I always keep a close eye on Gills. When he went one down, I just felt, God, not again for him, poor lad. And it's a massive result to obviously win it, how you've won it in the dying embers as well. It'll breed confidence, and it'll get the monkey off the back, as I said, that you've got that 3 points and you've got that win. It's now how you build on it. And yeah, I think a couple more wins and you're right back in it.
That's it. And we've said all season it's a crazy league. There's still not much of a gap between probably 40-50% of the table. If you look at it, we'll have a look at the table, obviously in more detail at the end. But yeah, and in terms of Newport, they're still within touching distance of those teams just above them. Stuff to work with. Obviously, they've got a couple of new signings that started and a couple that will obviously be bedded in over the next few weeks. They're a good side going forward, Newport. I just think, unfortunately, too many defensive lapses still.
Did you see enough for them to try and get out of it?
I think I'm going to echo what I saw from a comment from a Newport County fan over the weekend on X, and he said that before Fuchs took over, he was 100% convinced that they were going down. He's now 90% convinced that they're going down, but that 10% is just giving them something to cling to. Obviously, they're still right in the mire, aren't they? They're still bottom of the league. They've conceded 3 to a Gill side that generally don't score loads and given up 5 or 6 other good chances. But going the other way, yeah, they were decent enough. They caused us problems. If you wanted me saying I think they're going to stay up, I'm not in any way convinced. But they've given themselves a little bit of hope, is what I'd say at the moment. And Harrogate are in absolute freefall, aren't they? And just to mention that point, they've not won since the 27th of September, which was against Gills.
Step up, Gills. No, I think the worrying thing for Newport is obviously we're 10 minutes to go. They took the lead, and obviously then
84th minute, but there was still probably 20 minutes to play. Unfortunately, the clock was deceiving. If you was looking at it on like Sky Sports app or something like that, other apps are available. Yeah,
and to lose the game, I think that's the worrying thing. I think you can accept maybe like drawing, obviously, because you obviously concede, but to lose 2 late goals and come away with nothing, I think that's where you, and like you said, Gills don't generally score many goals. How many times they scored 3 to you?
3 against them twice now, 4 against Chesterfield. I think that's it.
Yeah,
so we're better than we have been in recent seasons, but we're still not, free scoring compared to other teams in the league. Absolutely not, and that's probably another reason why we're still sort of mid-table at the moment, but within touching distance.
And in terms of that performance, that win, has it been different to what you've obviously dropped points and draw, or has it just been the same? It's just been about getting that win.
I think there was elements of it that were still concerning and still the same. Defensively, we look a little bit slack because we're trying to be more creative and more open going the other way and playing 4-3-3 rather than the extra centre half. But yeah, in terms of our attacking play and actually looking like we had a pattern of play, much better. So now, again, similar to Newport, it's about getting the balance right between defence and attack. And I'm sure we will. We've got a couple of weeks of the window still to go. So fingers crossed. But yeah, we had to start winning swiftly. And I think it would have turned pretty toxic if we'd not beaten Newport. So thank God we did for more reasons than one. Anyway, enough about Gills, because it's not just the Gills channel. Let's do a few more comments and then we'll get on to your first game, my friend. Right, we did that one. Dom's just made a point that he is still gracing us with his presence. Good lad, Dom. Appreciate it. Joshua says Gills have to win away on Saturday. Yeah, I think it's probably one of them. Luca talks Dons. MK Dons vlogger is in the chat. He says, hi, Luca. Simon Bradshaw Lee in response to your question, 3-word review, hard fought win for Oldham. Yep, I think that's fair to say. It looks like Cheltenham had decent spells in the game.
And Cheltenham are no mugs now. Obviously, they've turned the corner.
They have, yeah. Form, I think, has dropped off a little bit in the last few weeks again, hasn't it? But they did have a massive manager bounce, which was brilliant. I mean, it weren't brilliant that day at Priestfield back in October because they nearly nicked the 3 points off of us. But we've got HCAFC Noah in the chat. So another visitor from League One. He's a Huddersfield fan. Hi, lads. Good to see you in the chat, mate. Nice to see you come and join us. Appreciate the support. He wants to know if you're going to Huddersfield v Bradford on Saturday, Lee.
I am. Won't miss
you
it
are.
For the... Yes.
Breaking news. Breaking news. What we got here? Just win the next 2 away matches and lucky Arsenal wants to finish my runs. Yeah, I think anywhere above the line for Newport, I think is what Matt's getting at there, would be a good season there, wouldn't it? They've just got to try and stay in the Football League any which way. And the last one for now is Simon again. He says, Tranmere at Oldham on 7th of March is the game is that the game you're doing on that day? Blimey, they're booking you in now, mate. Jesus, you're like a party planner, aren't you?
Unfortunately, I don't think I will be because I'm away, which I'm good about.
That's Tenerife time of the year, isn't it, March, I think?
No, Prague. I've already booked.
It's like Santa, you, aren't you? You work a few days of the year now.
To be fair, I wanted to cover that fixture as well because I think I did the FA Cup game and I always love it. A trip to Tranmere. It's a decent ground, good away end, and so unfortunately I won't be at that one.
Sure, there'll be plenty of opportunities to see both teams. Right, do you want to tell us about your first feature game of the weekend, mate? Accrington Stanley 0, MK Dons 2.
Yeah, obviously MK Dons running out 2-0 winners. Ben Wiles scoring on his first MK Dons appearance, and it continued their promotion charge with a win at Accrington. Wiles joined just 9 days prior to obviously scoring in this one, and he gave MK the lead. It was a clearance really, and flick on, and then another flick. It was really direct. I think an head, and I think Patterson then nudges it on, and it sends Wiles through 1-on-1 with a keeper. It's a really cool finish because he's got a lot of time, and usually players can obviously panic in that situation, but he slots it really, really nicely. And gives the keeper no chance. That was on the 14th minute, sending MK Dons 1 up. Accrington then had 2 chances, 2 good opportunities. Isaac Sinclair's strike pushed out by Craig and McCaverley. I'm not even going to pronounce that right. Hey,
you love butchering a name, don't you?
You
do it all the time. Why'd you pick these games?
Every day was like, yeah.
Just do Jills every week. Johnny Smith.
What happened to a Rob Jones or
Andy Smith? Bradley Dack.
Yeah. Well, you know, every week I'm going to butcher a name.
Exactly. Yeah. We're all right, Jills. They're all essentially just 3 or 4 syllables. Should be absolutely fine.
It's lost me now. I'm not where I was.
Craig McVilliam.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to try it.
Craig McGillivray made a good save from Isaac.
Yeah,
or Sinclair.
Yeah, and then while his free header was wide, and then MK's second came again from direct build up, a long kick from the keeper, clearance just falls down to John Mellish, who set up Collins really neatly, and he fired home his 5th goal of the season to hand MK Dons all 3 points. MK's first win since Boxing Day, so a much needed win for their promotion push. And Accrington were on a little good run themselves. It's their first loss since the 19th of December. Obviously, before Christmas, they were worried about looking over their shoulder, but yeah, good few wins have helped their cause for relegation.
They're probably one of the big movers, aren't they, since we last did a show?
Massively,
brilliant over the last month, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of humble pie being eaten by those people that had them to go down in pre-season, me included. No, they've been superb.
Yeah. To be fair, you can obviously justify them struggling. Obviously, look at squads in the division, but yeah, they've turned the corner and results have come. It's a massive win, I think, for MK, because it's always a tough place to go to, regardless of what form they're in, and obviously the form they were in prior to this one. So yeah, it's a massive 3 points for MK.
Yeah, and you mentioned Collins. I think it's like a new signing. He's missed loads of the season. He's already got 5. Ben Wiles, that might have been his debut.
It was, yeah.
They signed Curtis Nelson as well, which is ridiculous for the level, just to go with all their other ridiculous signings for the level. They probably got, I'm not being, no disrespect, and not to heap ridiculous pressure on them, but they do that themselves with who they buy. But they've probably got half a team of championship quality. Yeah. So
which adds to that pressure we've spoke about quite a few times. It adds to that pressure. Obviously you look at squads, compare them. I think everyone wants to beat them because of that reason.
Absolutely, yeah. It's almost like cup final syndrome, isn't it? It's everyone raises their game for the matches against the biggest sides in the division, and MK Dons are certainly that in terms of players that they've got at their disposal. I mean, they're going to be leaving some. Crowley's the player. Cowley's the manager. Rumoured to be leaving because he can't get a game. Yet he left Notts County to join them and was probably best playmaker in the division at the time. It's frightening the amount of quality they've got that they can call on.
By the way, someone picking him up would be quite a coup as well, because he is a player.
Oh yeah, imagine you'd have to give him a decent wage. I'm not sure MK Dons are paying in coins. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, most definitely.
DFT Lewis on your game says MK Dons seem to be, when they're on it, a top 3 side. It's just inconsistent. I think might come back to bite them. Yeah, they've been a bit weird all season, haven't they, in that sense? But I can still see them really pushing for the title just because of the players that they've got. It's like if someone gets injured or suspended, they're bringing in another player of like really at least top level League 2 quality, if not divisions above.
Yeah, I think they'll come into their own now because obviously we're through that Christmas period. I don't know are they still in the FA Cup?
Yeah, I think so. Didn't they beat Oldham? Because our game against them got postponed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Did they beat Oldham in the third? Oh no, beat Oldham in the second round. Sorry. Let me just do
I don't know.
A quick look.
Don't recall them getting drawn in the.
Oh no, lost on penalties. Sorry, to Oxford in the third round. So they're out. So now they're just concentrating on the on the league essentially. So yeah, gives them a big chance.
Yeah, and I do think you'll see him kick on now. Like you say, you're through that Christmas period. It's always a sticky period where you could either change your fortunes in terms of not getting results. You could have that good run, and you look at some teams. I mean, you touch on Fleetwood. I'm covering them in a bit. They had a good period till Christmas, and then after Christmas, through that period, results haven't come.
Yes, I think when we went there, 20th of December, they were absolutely flying. Certainly at home, they was 11 unbeaten.
That was their last win.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Sorry, mate. It's just in my notes. That's all. So I might remind you again.
Anyway, swiftly moving on. Wayne, the Grimsby fan, is back. Evening, Wayne. Welcome back to the chat. Good to see you. Grimsby 5 unbeaten in all competitions. Yes, Grimsby quietly just turning their season round after what was probably more than a blip, but we will get to their game at some point. Matt, the GFC.
In terms of that, what do you think's changed? You might be able to answer this. What's changed to get them results? Because I watched them against Oldham and I thought they were absolutely dreadful in terms of what I've seen earlier on in the season, where they were pummeling teams, scoring freely, and I really fancied them for top three. And the drop off when they played Oldham were quite staggering, just lacking anything creativity wise, and yeah, it was just like a totally different side.
Strange, isn't it? Yeah, because they've got good players. They've got KBA, they had Danny Rose. Danny Rose going to Barrow, it looks like, which looks like a really good pickup for the Bluebirds. But Charles Vernon's probably one of the best players in the league on form. Kieran Green, a good player. But yeah, I remember they beat us middle of October. I'm not going to talk about that game. But yeah, like you say, their games seemed to be high scoring at the start of the season. Yeah. And then they had the issue where they was losing after winning in the League Cup. But if you look at their last few games, 1-1-0, 1-1-0, 1-1-0, drew 0-0, lost 2-0, lost 2-0, drew 1-1. So suddenly there are not so many goals for and against. So do we think maybe Artell has gone right? We need to tighten up defensively, and that means, like a lot of teams, they then just not quite getting the balance right in the final third, and they've ended up losing a little bit of that threat at the top end of the pitch.
Possibly, yeah.
Wayne maybe can answer this better than us, yeah. Wayne. So if you're still in the chat, mate, it'd be great to hear your thoughts on it. Matt says, big up Bromley, 7 points clear, yet having an absolutely astonishing season. Regional variation says, any hope for Newport? I think we've already discussed that, mate. A little bit more than when David Hughes was in charge, but still a really tall order to get out of trouble.
Tough.
Dom's just said, yeah, second round. Sorry, mate. Yeah, we did work that out eventually amongst ourselves. Thank you.
Good,
Fin
mate.
City, Jules Finley's back in the chat. Evening, mate. Hope you're good. We are very well, thank you. Oh, here we go. Jackson Smith in goal. Return of Farm as well. Oh, there you go. So a couple of players back. Christy Pym, who I think when we last spoke was having one of them periods that every goalkeeper dreads, where everything was going in. So all you need is a couple of players back, bit of luck, and suddenly it all changes again, doesn't it? So
yeah, that's what I say. You look at Gills, they've got that win. Your fortunes now might change. You might go on a run. We've said this division before. I think that's the beauty of it. You can get a couple of wins and your season's turned and you're looking up instead of down. Whereas sometimes you might not get them wins. And we touch on Gills again. Sorry, mate. But you were flying high and you didn't get the results, and you were looking over your shoulder type thing, because that's the beauty of this division. It's so close, and yeah, a couple of wins, a couple of losses, it can change your season.
Yeah, it's mental. I was like talking about it on social media at the weekend and said, like, we don't lose many. We've only lost 6 all season. So if you lose another 4 in the last 21 games and you reverse the wins and the draws, we're not going to be there. We're not going to be far off.
No.
But if you continue drawing too many games, obviously you end up being a mid-table side. Wayne's just confirmed that Rose has officially signed for Barrow 18-month contract. That looks like a really good addition.
Interesting though, that, isn't it? Because Cookie was rumoured to be really close to going to Barrow, but obviously Grimsby have come in and got Cookie, but then now Barrow still need that.
Push Rose out the door, yeah. Because obviously Rose is what, 31, 32 now. They obviously like
Yeah.
Jace Cabia, who's had a decent first season in the Football League. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if Cabia continues to play, or whether Cookie comes in and maybe starts from the off. Obviously, he's coming off the back of a long-term injury, which can take a while to get yourself back up to speed. Right. Second feature game for myself was two teams. One I was intrigued by because they've made a lot of signings already. I think they're trying to get the band back together from their 23-24 promotion season. And the other is a side that I had a lot lower at the start of the season. And fair play to them. They've been absolutely superb. I'm talking about Crawley Town 1, Notts County 2. 3 goals and a red card in this one. 2 goals disallowed in the first half. Crawley thought they'd taken the lead and it was ruined by a linesman's flag. And then I think the same fate befell Alassana Jatta at the other end. Notts County have signed a good goalkeeper, Lee, and James Belshaw from Harrogate, probably one of the best stoppers at the level. He made 2 terrific saves just before half-time to keep this one goalless, and they proved to be really, really crucial because just after half-time, Jody Jones did what Jody Jones does, and that was cut in off the right-hand side and whip a delicious effort into the far corner with his left foot to put the Pies in front. And shortly afterwards, Crawley's day got a bit harder. Clyde Lalos, back on Crawley's books, was sent off for slapping somebody off the ball. Like, footballers don't help themselves, do they? I mean, they always say first impressions count for everything. I know it was his second debut, but my God, what are you doing? It's just absolutely ridiculous. Hard enough anyway, but against a good side that's challenging near the top in Notts County. Harvey Davis in the Crawley goal, to be fair, matched anything that Belshaw was doing. He made a couple of good saves. But Jatta finally got on the score sheet on 81 minutes to send his team back into the playoff zone. And Harry McCurdy's deflected free kick late on proved to be nothing more than a consolation. I think we have to talk about Notts County because I had them 18th at the start of the season. I got loads of grief off their fans. Got a few that agreed with me because of the way the setup had been announced at the time, with Patterson coming in as gaffer and that football board. They've been absolutely brilliant, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they've surprised. I think a lot of their fans will admit that they wasn't hopeful going into this season because of the structure and obviously the manager. I think you'll find very few that were hopeful of maybe having a playoff push or anything above. But yeah, they've. I think they struggled to start with. Results won't come in, and obviously fortunes change. And you've got to give them credit now because they're proving a lot of people wrong. And they're right in the mix. That signing keeper wise, I think is absolutely brilliant. Was that meant to come up? Was that throw me there?
What's that?
There's a picture on.
Sorry.
They're fantastic signing. Just what they needed. It obviously fills the void. And I think they've proven a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, been really good. And like you say, they've lost good players. They lost McGoldrick, they lost the keeper Alex Bass, they lost Crowley that we've already spoken to about a little while ago. But they look a more rounded team to me now, I think. Like, they don't just rely on Jones, Jatta or Crowley. They brought in Matt Dennis in the summer, who's had a good season. I know he's been in and out of the side recently. They just look a better all-round team, more functional rather than relying on sort of individual brilliance.
Yeah, agree. And you can't rely on one player because it doesn't make that team. And when you've got individuals and compared to a team and a unit, I think it's better. And you've got to applaud the job he's doing. Because like I said, they're proper in the mix, and it surprised me to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. I have, and I'll happily sit here and say I've got it massively wrong. I had them 18th and thought they'd really struggle. I thought Patterson would be gone by now. I think that was the general consensus and my way of thinking. So no, fair play to him. Fair play to everyone at the football club who's got it right. Right, your second feature game.
Yes.
Sorry, mate. I did press. We was having some technical issues there. We might have given away our player of the week for both of us, but for those that missed it. Lee, tell us about Fleetwood Town 1, Cambridge United 2 as Neil Harris's men continued their promotion push.
Yep, Cambridge United now 11 without loss in the league. Quite incredible run. Yeah, it's an absolutely brilliant result, this. Touched on Fleetwood, obviously, their run before and during Christmas is how things have changed for them. But credit to Cambridge coming away with a massive 3 points. Cambridge first goal is an absolute thing of beauty. A free kick from Sully Kai. Yes, got that right. I didn't butcher it. There we go. On the 31st minute, absolute stunner. Yeah, it's an absolute unbelievable way to open the scoring. And then Fleetwood levelled from the spot. Cambridge player brought down Ched Evans. I think it was a penalty. Gives the referee no doubt in the fact that there were a penalty for me. And Ennis steps up and sends the keeper the wrong way to to make it 1-1. I think that was on the 74th minute. And then Cambridge winner comes on the 82nd minute. A long diag free kick that wasn't dealt with, I think. Really poor defending, couple of ricochets, and it falls to James Givens, who puts it away for a massive 3 points for Cambridge United, who are now 6th. And I've touched on Fleetwood's sticky run since Christmas, and now 15th. Things looked up for Fleetwood prior to this. I think we touched on their last win were against you guys. And yeah, things have changed. I think they had a really good run of home wins. But yeah, how fortunes can change with their season. They were looking up and now things aren't looking so rosy for them. But yeah, massive credit to Cambridge now, 11 unbeaten. It's an absolute incredible run. And yeah, they're on a roll.
They are on a roll, yeah. And we said about our good Fleetwood's home form. Cambridge is unbelievable as well. They're second in the home table, Cambridge. 27 points from 36 this season. They've only lost once at the Abbey Stadium. It was their home form that was keeping him up there, and I thought their away form sort of holding them back. But they're now up to 13th in the away form. They've only lost 4 out of 13 on the road. 12 goals scored and 13 conceded. So it's, you know, you're not going to get loads of goals from games where Cambridge are travelling away. But yeah, very Neil Harris, I'd say, from personal experience, and he's doing a cracking job.
You've just beat me to it. It's just, yeah, it's a Neil Harris way. You know what you're going to get from him. It's not going to be pretty, but he's going to get results, and that's all that matters in football. For me, it's about winning games of football.
Absolutely, totally agree. You don't get bonus points, do you, for better goals, goals a goal, and all that type of thing. So, yeah, Cambridge really, I think, probably overachieving at the moment. I think it's fair to say, but at some point, overachieving just becomes them being a good side and doing what you'd expect of them, because it's not like it's the start of the season now. Beginning of the season, there was talk about, oh, they've not played many teams near the top. We're now over 50% of the way through, and they're having an absolute belter of a campaign. So it's a fair play to them.
100%. Yeah, we're nearing the end of January now, so we're really getting into the nitty gritty. And yeah, you can't not talk about them to be in that promotion mix.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They say the tables take shape after 15 games. Well, we're 10 games past that, and they're right in it. So depends how well he's backed or how much he trusts his squad, I suppose, going through January. But yeah, you think if they can add a couple more, certainly at the top end of the pitch, a little bit of stardust, it could be the difference between playoffs, automatics. Who knows?
I think that's what's key as well. In January is a massive month to see where you are. Obviously, transfers, you're in that playoff on a mix or automatic. Have a go. Take a few punts and get players in just to push you over the line. You never know.
Absolutely.
You look at Bromley, a couple of their signings already have really, really good business. The lad from Tottenham who were on loan from Donny didn't get really much of an opportunity there, but he is a fantastic prospect, and thinking League Two is going to flourish.
Yeah, and you look at Grimsby just picking up, bring Cookie in, could be the
Exactly.
difference if he scores half a dozen, 8 goals now.
Walsall with Patterson, that is an absolutely brilliant signing for me. That's one of the best signings.
Who's that they've signed?
Alex Patterson, who was
from Bradford, of course, yeah. He was promoted out of this division. Yeah, really good signing. Another one there, and maybe if a couple of the Bradford fans are still in the chat, do we think Jules Lapsley, sorry to go back to a Jules reference, do we think Jules Lapsley drops back into League Two? Because he's not playing a lot for Bradford, is he?
I'd say so, because obviously I know it's not a League One show. Watched Bradford against Port Vale. I think for them to now go to that next level, which they seem to be doing, offloading these players that obviously, they were key to their promotion, but to go to that next level, you need to improve, you need better quality. And they look to be getting rid of these like older players like Cookie and Patterson, and they've got a couple of good loanees from Newcastle. But to improve, you've got to keep aiming higher. So I can see him definitely moving on. And he'd be a fantastic signing for a League Two side, I think.
Yeah, he's a good player at League Two level. Again, probably.
Would you have him back?
We struggle to keep him fit. Dacky's playing regularly now. We still got Johnny Williams. We've got other people that can play. There's probably not room for him, but he'd be a good player for any League Two side if you can keep him fit and on the park. Absolutely. And he's been promoted out of this division, I think, as well, or been challenging with Mansfield. He's had a promotion, I think, with Charlton a few years ago. So
he's the type of player I think he'll move like towards the end. I think that last day job, I think we're going to be on the show, because I'm sure it is. Falls on that last day on that Monday night. I'm sure.
Hopefully, we'll do a transfer special like we did before, didn't we? That was good fun.
Yeah, definitely. Get your yellow tie and you'll be away, mate.
Oh yeah, I was hot that week. Still suited the shirt and tie. What a look! Right, back to the comments. Matt says I have Notts County between 3rd to 8th. Yeah, I think they'd be disappointed now if they didn't get in the playoffs. But at the same time, they've had a good campaign. Darren's asking me if I'm off to Harrogate on Saturday. Yes, I am. David Longley is in the chat. Better late than ever. He says very late and will accept the yellow card. No problem at all. He knows the rules. We like him. Simon says going back to Saturday's game, I was impressed with Matthew Hudson. Kept us in the game a few times. Some great saves when Cheltenham had chances. Yep, we will get to that game in a sec. We will go through the video printer of the rest of the games. Wayne says Cookie came on last 20 minutes on Saturday. Kabia gets used to playing alongside him. He'll score plenty more goals. Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant role model for someone like Jay's Kabia, and it is to be learning off Andy Cook, even if it's for 6 months, 12 months. What a player to be learning off, someone who's been there, done it, and got all the T-shirts at this level.
Yeah, 100%. And Cookie no doubt will score goals. He just needs to get that fitness now and a run of games. Once he's up to scratch, I think he'll kick on. And like I say, coming into that February, March time, it's a perfect opportunity for him to kick on as well.
Yeah, I can't wait. He always scores against Gills, which means he's going to play for Grimsby and score against us as well. Unbelievable. Sid's just confirmed, said, not really getting looking now, Lapsley, especially with the lads from Newcastle coming in. Yeah. Tricky time, and George. He turned up midway through the season, had to bide his time, and then did well, scored a few important goals. But like you said, Lee, you have to keep evolving and you have to keep moving forward. And he's probably just sort of being left behind a little bit at the moment, Lapo. So probably be good for him to move and get some regular games somewhere again, because like we've already said, he's a good player at League Two level.
I know a lot of the Bradford fans were upset to see Cookie go, because he's been a big part of the club, and obviously he's been there a few years, but sometimes you just have to let go. As much as it hurts, and they've been there and been through the promotion where you have got to improve as a football club.
Absolutely, totally agree. Right, shall we have a look at the rest of the results? Right, we've got Vidi printer. We will go through these. So it was Tranmere Rovers against Walsall lunchtime kickoff, and that finished 3-1 to the away side. Goals from Priestley, Farquharson, and Dan Canoe put the Saddlers 2-0 up at half-time. Jamil Matt added a very nice third on 65 minutes before Joe Ironside's consolation in the last minute. But the Walsall bandwagon shows no sign of slowing down at the moment. Bristol Rovers lost at home to Colchester United by 1-0 thanks to Awara Edwards' last gasp winner, 85 minutes, and he decided to smack one in the top corner from about 25 yards. Crewe ran out 3-1 winners against Barrow. Tommy O'Reilly and Callum Agius both scoring inside the first 17 minutes. Isaac Fletcher pulled one back on 31, and Josh Marks completed the scoring in the first half and for the game on 38 as the Alex keep in touch with the promotion and playoff places. Lee, I want to just stop on Grimsby Town 1, Barnet 0. Red card for Joe Kizzy after 11 minutes in this one. Jaden Sweeney then won it for the Mariners on 51 minutes. But now, this is the 50% of Grimsby's home wins in the league this season are going to come against sides that have had very dubious red cards. Coincidence?
What are you trying to suggest, Matt?
I'm not suggesting anything. I asked you. That's why I write the questions.
It's I don't know. I honestly don't know what to say because it wasn't a red card, was it?
It's never a red card in a million years. The blokes just running next to each other in the halfway line and they sort of clash feet. And I can't believe. So what's that been for? Is that violent conduct? It's an awful decision again.
Yeah.
Something about that centre circle at Blundell Park.
Yeah, they do seem to be happening in that centre circle, don't they?
I'm not saying any more. But yeah,
I'm trying to get something out of you.
Grimsby kept another clean sheet and kept their unbeaten run going as they picked up all 3 points for thanks to Sweeney's second half winner. Oldham beat Cheltenham Town by 2-1. It was Cheltenham who took the lead in this one. Jordan Thomas from the spot just before the half-hour mark, but Oldham came back to win the game thanks to the evergreen Joe Garner on 45 minutes and then Kai Payne on 60. Dom has got a comment. Can we take a moment to appreciate 37-year-old Joe Garner? No, where's it gone? Bloody comments have just moved. Do apologise. There we go. Can we take a moment to appreciate 37-year-old Joe Garner still being an absolute handful and still banging? Yeah, I think it was goal and an assist in this one. I wasn't sure about this signing when it happened, but to be fair, he's made a real difference, almost as much as young Michael Mellon. And Oldham quietly creeping to within touching distance of the playoffs, mate. And you know a lot about them. Obviously, you follow them. We've said it over and over again. You've said it already. Take a chance, get a couple in. Playoffs are within striking distance.
Yeah, it is. We're Mickey Mellon. I've spoken about him before. He plays the long game. He'll not look at the fixture ahead of him. He'll mark. He's probably in his office. He'll have Cheltenham away, say Gillingham away. He'll have a point, 3 points. You know what I mean? He's marked it off, and he'll mark it as he goes down, and he'll come into March, April, and if he's within striking distance, that's when I think you can maybe have a little look at Oldham. Because last season they were absolutely diabolical all season, and then they just seemed to something just clicked, and they were just unstoppable. And who's to say it might happen again? Obviously now they're the 12th. I think that's the highest they've been this season. Is it? Might be wrong.
They're 11th. Oh, sorry, no, wait a minute. That's just looking at the away table. Yeah, 12th overall now, 35 points, the same as Gills and the same as Barnet, who they came up with. Yeah, in fact, they've got an identical record to Gills: 1-8, drawn 11, lost 6. So again, it's like Simon said earlier, turning them draws into wins. You start climbing fairly quickly. You do, yeah. I've just had a little brief look at the table. At what point would you cut off the playoff run? Because you're in and around there. What, in terms of games played or games to go? Or which position? Who you think could have a go at it? Do you think it's at Fleetwood maximum? I'd probably say Fleetwood upwards. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
Accrington have got enough to push, even though they're only a point behind Fleetwood and two
No.
behind us. I'd say Accrington downwards. In fact, you'd probably say it's grouped, isn't it? You'd probably say Barrow downwards is the relegation battle. Cheltenham, Tranmere, and Accrington are probably just sat in a bit of no man's land for me at the moment, going nowhere, which isn't a bad thing. Yeah, and then Fleetwood upwards, you'd probably say have still got a chance of getting in the playoffs. And that I mean that with no disrespect to Accrington, and I've written them off once already, so they'll probably finish 5th or 6th now. I've just said that.
Yeah, going a right run.
Whatever I say about Accrington, do the opposite. I've said they're going to get relegated, they're mid-table. If I say they're not going to get in the playoffs, they're definitely going to win at Wembley. It's when I start backing them Accrington fans that you need to be really concerned.
Yeah.
Well, yes, Dom's talking about 37-year-old Joe Garner. So Bill Anderson, the Gills fan, welcome Bill to the chat, says, how good is GMAC at 38? Another one for the veterans. Gareth McCleary off the bench at the week. Honestly, this bloke is built like a middleweight boxer. I've said it over and over again. Absolutely ridiculous physique for a bloke at the tail end of his career. Still as quick as most people in the division.
He's still got that pace, hasn't he?
Phenomenal option to bring off the bench. Yeah, so fingers crossed we keep him fit now. And again, he'll be like a new signing because he's been in and out of the side because of injuries and that suspension at the start of the season as well, which was ridiculous. So yeah, and Sid goes on to say Pattinson an absolute steal for Walsall, should never have let him go. Yeah, but you can only have so many good players. No, I'm contradicting myself there because I always say you can never have too many good players, but you have to look at the individual as well, don't you, Lee? If they're not playing, they want to go and play football. And that's what you want from professionals. You don't want someone in your squad that's happy to just pick up a wage.
No, and Patson will obviously be looking at his own career, and I think Walsall, I think it's a good move. They're in the mix. There's potential for another promotion. He obviously got a taste of it last year. Yeah, Bradford are in that mix as well, so he could have stayed there. But is he getting the games that he'd ideally want? For me, I think, did he start where his first start for Walsall? I think he goes straight in, and yeah, I think I've already said I think he's an absolute fantastic signing for League Two.
And that's what Walsall need, isn't it? Because I think Sadler got accused last year of just relying on the same people, and then they just burnt out, and that's why they collapsed. So he's going to have to learn. He's going to have to rotate a bit better. And if you've got people like Pattinson coming in that you can come in and out of the side, then you're going to be in a good place. Yeah,
and he recruited really well, I think, in the summer as well. You look at like Sir Flinty, he's got promotions galore on his CV. It's that experience, because obviously they didn't have it last year, and I think that's why they faltered, because if they've had these players last season, they've had that experience of promotions to reset and just steady the lads, because they just hit a brick wall, and it was kind of sad to see, because they were absolutely flying. To lose how they did, and obviously then to lose at Wembley as well. But yeah, credit to him. He's got that experience. So this year could be their year.
Yeah, they got Albert Adoma as well, still 37, haven't they? So him, Flint, like you say, Jamil Matt, they got plenty of good experienced players down the spine of that side. Another one for me that I really like is Priestley Farquharson as well, who I think's had injury problems for about 2 years. He's back and fit. He was brilliant at Newport a couple of years ago. So that's like a new signing. And that's the thing, isn't it? If you get players back that you've not seen for a lot of the season, they can almost boost you without even having to dip into the transfer market as well, which is another thing. Wayne says Cookie made the difference when he came on, won all his headers. Right, let's just finish this video printer quickly, because we've gone off on a tangent there, which we always enjoy doing. There were 3 more games. Shrewsbury Town, courtesy of Taylor Perry's 62nd minute strike, beat Harrogate Town, who are now 18 without a win since the back end of September. And they weren't helped by Jack Evans being stupid and get himself sent off. Having already been booked, mate, he decided to throw the ball away right in front of the referee, and then looked all shocked when the referee proceeded to walk over and flash a second yellow card, and with it a red. Just like, again, what are you doing?
I don't know what goes through their head. Just miss, just stupidity, really.
Absolutely. It's all it can be. And I get you playing under pressure and you're struggling and your team's not winning. But that just doesn't help anybody. It's not just the game itself, which was a 6-pointer, but you're now losing for future games as well. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. And last two were Swindon 2, Salford 3. Ollie Turton opened the scoring in this one for the visitors. Kelly and Mai added a second. And then Joel McGregor pulled one back for Ian Holloway's men. Callum Cisse restored the 2-goal advantage on 72 minutes before Aaron Drynan nodded home to set up a grandstand finish on 77, but they couldn't find an equaliser. That is a very big win for Salford as they go level on points with their opponents. And Chesterfield at Bromley finished 0-0 as two sides near the top end cancelled themselves out. Bromley still do sit at the top of the table, though. Right, a few more comments. Then we'll have to look at goals of the week and player of the week. What we got going on? Cotton Pie says Around the Grounds is live. This is new. Yeah, we finally worked it out after 17 episodes, mate, that we can put it on both channels because we're technically stupid. So forgive us. It's just taken us 5 months to sort that out. So yeah, it will be on both channels every week now. If you can subscribe to both, like I've said, I'm sure you're already subscribed to Lee's. It'd be hugely appreciated. Wayne has then said the wrong guy got sent off, should have been cut. Yeah, this is again, there was so much discrepancy around the whole Barnet thing that no one really knew what was going on. Bill says that Steve Evans is rolling out the same stories for losing at the Gas now. Not seen much. What we got here. Question for Around the Grounds from Adrian Kidd. A question for you. Will you be doing the Yorkshire Derby at the end of the month, Bradford versus Doncaster? Has that already been asked? No? Oh, that was Huddersfield, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that one. I think it's 31st, that one. Yeah, I get accused of doing too many Bradford games as it is, and obviously we're doing the Huddersfield game. I couldn't justify doing that. I might as well start wearing a Bradford City shirt at that point.
Instead of just a scarf.
Yeah.
Nick Castleton says McCleary is quicker across the grass than I am in my car. And Bill's just brought up the same point that I mentioned earlier. Harrogate's last win was at Gills in September. Revenge time on Saturday. Fingers crossed. But
by the way, how buzzing are you
to have a pie? Oh, I can't wait.
Do not send me a picture.
I'm sending you all the pictures. All the pictures of the full Monty. Absolutely ridiculous SCRAN up there. Cannot wait for that one. Right, mate. Goals of the week. Before we start, I had a couple of honourable mentions. Did you have a couple of honourable mentions?
No, mate.
Fair enough. He went straight into it. Go on, you go first.
Go on, mate. I'll let you do your honourable mentions.
Honourable mentions for me were James Gibbons' strike for Cambridge through a crowd to win the game for his side in the 82nd minute away at Fleetwood, and Tommy O'Reilly's strike I was impressed with for Crewe Alexandra in their win. But in third place for me was Jody Jones for Notts County against Crawley, like we've already mentioned, cutting in off the right-hand side. And then that trademark finish with his left foot, whipping it into the far corner to put his side in front. Runner-up for me this week was Sully Kaikai's delicious up-and-down free kick for Cambridge at Fleetwood Town, over the wall, out of the reach of the keeper. The very definition of postage stamp. But my winner was Colchester United's Awara Edwards, cutting in off the right, skipping past his man and absolutely lashing one across the keeper into the top corner to win it for his side with about 5 minutes to play.
The first ever week, we've got all three in the right order.
Have we matched?
We've matched.
There we go. Look at that. So we don't know how to work multiple YouTube streams, but we do know what we're talking about when it comes to goals.
That's the first week. I think we've done two. I think we've got one where
we've got two a few times, haven't we? But if we've got all three in the same order. So
just
for anyone who watches,
that I'm not lying. There we go.
I can't see that even with glasses on, mate. I'll take your word for it. Or when I watch it back on the big telly, I'll be able to see it.
Yeah. Jody Jones, obviously, first bending effort. It's what he does. He's absolutely brilliant. I mentioned that Cambridge, Sully Kaikai, absolutely brilliant. Wonderful free kick. He couldn't not pick this winner. Edwards. He obviously cuts inside, just unleashes it. He just absolute peach of a goal. And what a way to win it. 85th minute as well. He's
had to bide his time this season as well, hasn't he? He's not had loads of football because he was really good last season. Because I remember picking him out as one to watch in my pre-season series that I did across the division. But because of the form of Lisby and Mbik and Harry Anderson, he's had to sort of spend a lot of time on the bench. So to come on and do that just reminds everybody that, you've got another good option here, Mr. Cowley, if you want to try and get promoted. Yeah, really, really good goal.
And interesting thing with Colchester, I think they're going to, obviously they've got a couple on loan, but I think they're going to have to be tested whether they keep hold of the key players, I think, because I think there'll be a few clubs sniffing round them.
There was apparently a Belgian team were in for Lisby, weren't they, offering silly money? So it'd be interesting to see. It's how much, whether you want to take the money now and potentially derail a promotion bid. But everybody's got a price, to coin the old phrase. Mitchell Beadle, the Gills fan, says, do we as Gills fans need to give Josh Andrews some clean slate after 3 misses at the week? I've seen this, and he has to score. I don't know if you've seen the misses, Lee.
Yeah.
The head of the first one is difficult chance. The second two, for me, has to score, both of them. And then the game is much more comfortable. But what I didn't agree with at the weekend, and I don't know what fans of other clubs think, cheering when your player's being substituted is not going to help anybody. All you're going to do is absolutely kill his confidence. And he knew he'd got it wrong because he came straight on at full time. You can see him run on and give Mr. McCleary a huge hug as if to say, cheers, fella, for getting me out of trouble here. But Josh Andrews has barely played any football. He's only 24 still. He's had loads of injuries to contend with. He's played plenty of games this season now. What I like is that Josh Andrews is missing chances, because I've watched Gillingham not create chances for far too long. So to have strikers missing chances is the next step. Of course, we then want them to be more clinical and score more. So yeah, absolutely, we cut him some slack because he works so hard every week. He's as honest as the day is long, and he's involved in a lot of good stuff that we do. Again, it's similar to goalkeepers, isn't it? Strikers miss sitters. It gets looked at over and over again. Anyway. Newport fan C. Willis says, hi, I was at the game on Saturday, and trust me, that 4-hour journey back was tough. Yeah, I sympathise, mate. We've all been on long away days that you have to go home from after you've lost in the last minute, and it's never fun. But yeah, we've already said, I think you've given yourselves a bit of a chance. Cotton Pie says he's a Scunny fan. All respect to League Two. Always good games. Appreciate you coming into the chat, mate, and having a watch. And like I say, if you can sub to both channels and press like, that'd be brilliant. Dom's talking about the Harrogate pies. Mine was mega. Yeah, they're unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Cannot wait to get stuck into one of them. Sid says, Lee, you'll be pleased to know I'm not on the coach on Saturday, so I won't be late.
Hey, Guinness time. Sid, I'll be texting you shortly, my friend, because I am going to book my train this evening.
Here we go. We know what's going on that train. Splitting the G. McCleary and Dak dropping down is reminiscent of Wes Houlihan at Cambridge a few years ago. The quality simply shines, and they all showed our show. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we know what Houlihan did for Cambridge. He got them promoted that season. Yeah, Bill says Josh Andrews apologised. Yeah, I see him come on. He sort of gestured as he walked around, like put his hands together. He knows he's missed 2 good chances, but he's not doing it on purpose, is he? No footballer's missing a chance on purpose. That's the thing.
You ask any striker. I've used to play as strike. If you don't get in them positions and not having them chances, that's when you worry.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd rather have chances that we miss because it means we're creating opportunities than just not creating opportunities at all. And that's what we've spoken about with Gillingham for far too long. So, progress.
Yeah.
To a degree, of course. Right, mate. Do you want to do your player of the week?
Yes.
Which we may have already told everyone because I kept pressing the wrong buttons.
Yeah. Cambridge United's James Gibbons obviously got the winner. And anchored Cambridge United's defence with an outstanding rating of 8.6. Across 11 clearances and 11 duels won. So, yeah, he's my player of the weekend.
Yeah, like we say, scored a really good goal, which could prove important, couldn't it, at the end of the season? Big wins like that, you look back on the moments. So, yeah, a very good choice from right centre back as well. Love to see it, stuff like that. Right, there is a theme here, and we didn't chat beforehand. But mine was a Cambridge player. Well, it wasn't James Gibbons. It was the man who scored that ridiculously good free kick. I'm talking about Saleh Kaikai. Yeah, just one of them players, Lee. I don't know what you think. When he's good, he's almost unplayable. But he has a lot of off days where he goes missing. But when you get him on his good day, he's an absolute threat. And that's what he was on Saturday afternoon. Just constantly caused trouble to Fleetwood. Played 90 minutes, had a 93% pass completion, which I think only dropped to 89% in the opposition half as well. 4 key passes, 5 shots, 2 of them on target. Obviously scored that brilliant goal. 167% of his duels and 3 ball recoveries as well. So wasn't afraid to do his work out of possession as well. So yeah, Cambridge, I think, very deserving, winning a double award for Player of the Week by myself and Lee. And last but not least, I think we need to have a look at the Sky Bet League 2 table because we've not seen it for a while, have we, mate?
We have.
Right, let's start from the bottom upwards. And it is still Newport County that sit afoot of the Football League, unfortunately, despite an improved performance at the weekend. They have 17 points. It's Harrogate just above them on 18, and then Crawley in 22nd, just a point outside of the dreaded drop zone. You then got Bristol Rovers, Shrewsbury, Barrow, Cheltenham, Tranmere and Accrington up to 16th. And then them groups, that group of teams that we think still have a chance of the playoffs, mate, Fleetwood, Gillingham, Barnet, Oldham, Grimsby, Crewe, Colchester and Chesterfield, separated by just 7 places and 7 points. Excuse me. Playoff places are made up of Notts County, Cambridge, MK Dons and Salford. Again, just 4 points separating them 4 sides. It's then Walsall and Swindon, 3rd and 2nd respectively, but only on goal difference from Salford. And Bromley, despite playing a game extra and 2 more than a couple of teams, currently 6 points clear, averaging 2 points per game. They are having an absolutely astonishing season.
Yeah, and we've just mentioned before they've obviously recruited as well. So they're in that position. And yeah, they're having a real go. And every credit to them. They got promoted, had a decent first season, and then they've kicked on this season. I think they've got the goal, what they want to do as a football club. Obviously, the structure off the field is brilliant. They've got the new stand now. So it's a club on the up. It's a club that want to move through the Football League.
Absolutely, yeah. And I've said all season long, and I keep saying it, the best team I've seen us play in terms of just the manager, the system, every player knowing their role within that system. They're so effective at what they do. And they've got what every team wants, and that's a threat up top. They've got Michael Cheek, who's joint top scorer. They've got Nicky Kabamba, who's essentially his understudy, who's got the best goals per minutes ratio in the entire division. Like, what more could you want? Midfield, I think, stacked with really good options. Jude Arthurs, Ben Thompson, they don't even start regularly. Mitch Pinnock, wand of a left foot. They're big and strong defensively. Yeah, they're a club that's seriously on the up, like you say. I'm just gutted we went before the stand was open because that would have made for an even better atmosphere that afternoon because it was still closed. Yeah, would love to go back, obviously, if they don't get promoted, but they're looking like the real deal at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%, mate. It's a tidy ground, and like you say, I think that stand now adds to the atmosphere. You know you're going to get a game there as well in terms of, you know, what sort of side you're going to come up against. And every credit to him. The job he's doing is absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely right. A couple of late comments. Jonathan Harries has joined us. Evening, Jonathan.
Red card.
Cambridge going under. Well, I was going to be red card.
Yes, get him off. Oh, you're messing, mate.
Another controversial red card. Why not? Cambridge going under the radar this season. Credit to Harris, Colchester be the ones to, both having really good seasons, both going the right way as well. Last couple of comments before we blow full time. James says, nice to see Oldham pushing up the table. Yep, quietly going about their business. And Simon tells James to keep the faith. Yeah, they're ones that I'm intrigued by, because I got a bit of grief off of Barnet fans in the summer for having Oldham 9th and Barnet 14th. And I said at the time, I thought Barnet were better equipped in terms of how their squad was built to do well in League Two. They're right next to each other. So, yeah, really intrigued to see how that plays out. But I think we've covered everything, mate. Firstly, it's good to be back. Congratulations to Lee winning the Sports Deck EFL Content Creator of the Year for 2025. And you also won Best Ground Hopper.
Yeah, Best Ground Hopper.
So a double award winner at the weekend again for Lee, like we've already said, best in the business at what he does. Who did he beat in that Best EFL Content Creator? Yours truly. Number 1 and 2. It's like it's meant to be, mate. Brilliant stuff.
Every credit to you. Obviously, it's nice to see our names on there.
Absolutely.
It's something we could always look back on. And yeah, it's obviously nice to share that podium, mate.
Absolutely it is, yeah. Like I said, no shame or anything in losing to you, because I keep telling you, I think I tell you more than you tell yourself, that you are the best at what you do. And yeah, love watching your stuff. Right, that's enough of the gooey stuff. Thanks to everybody who has watched tonight. Thanks to everybody who's commented, press like, share, even hype. If you know what hype means, please let us know in the comments, because we ain't got a clue. We just make it up as we go along. Yeah, it's really good to be back. Now, fingers crossed, this will be all the way through to the end of the season, every single week, covering the best division in football. Yeah, like I've said, go and check Lee's channel out if you've not. Press subscribe. If you can with mine as well, it'd be absolutely brilliant. We've now gone past 4K subscribers, which is absolutely unbelievable. So thank you very much to everybody who's doing that. We're pushing Lee towards 20K to the end of the season. So that's the big target for both of us. But as always, he's been Lee. I've been Matt. This has been the League 2 Hour, and we will see you next Monday.